What's up, guys? Welcome back. All right, so we have a interesting little finding here on the quad witching. Used to be a curve. Now I have modified it so that we could see linear lines. I'm going to pull it up here. So no, we're not entering a quad witching date this week, but it is a very important expiration date for options. And you guys know how this works with the cycle. We take into consideration the option chain. It's a very big deal into this whole thing with how the price moves and why they can use all this liquidity using options. Okay, so let's pull up these lines here. These are all quad witching dates. Quad witching dates happen 4 times a year. Okay, March, June, September, and December. And they're all lined up here for you, so you can see exactly what AMC was doing on every single date here. So this is very good for the cycle because you guys know the cycle works on a 2-month basis here, and we have every 2 months we have the green and the blue section of the cycle is where we have the volatility zone, the POI. Okay, so I'm going to talk about what is going on here and what we can expect moving forward, right? Take away the cycle and let's bring over these lines. All right, so what we're looking at here is correlation again, because that's what cycle analysis is. It's the correlation with historical patterns that have played out in the past and how we can use that for what's happening now, use it as reference. Okay, so right now we have high correlation in this section right here, which is almost 4 cycles. So from June to June, that's a whole year of data. That's 4 cycles on the quad witching. We're going to call it a curve, all right? So what I'm looking at right now that's interesting is, well, if we go back to March of 2020, which is where everything started, right? These guys using liquidity with meme stocks and crypto pumped the markets, and then you have all these guys being over leveraged, right? So we're going to take, in this case, we're going to take 5 cycles as reference. And we're going to pull it up, and you guys can move these around. Look, this is what I'm talking about when it comes to the POIs. Right back here, you're looking at POI and a POI. And then this happens to line up with that, that section here, right? That's a valid point of interest in this little section back here. Okay, so we're actually going to take this and we're going to put it right over here, like this. And now we have, starting from this quad witching date in, okay, we're going to do it, it's always a day after the quad witching date is over, so in this case it's June 21st, all the way through September 20th in this case. Now there are going to be 1 or 2 days of gaps, that's normal with the way the calendar works. Holidays, stuff like that. But here is our section. Now, the correlation here is not tracking whether the pattern looks the same or not. It's the average of the quad witching curve here. So this is why, well, we called it a curve because that gives us a nice average of what's happening with the overall price action. So if I pull over here just a regular moving average, and I smooth it out, let's do, I don't know, 60, right? You're going to get the same thing. You're going to get an average of the overall price, and that's what we want. We don't want to look at the volatility that's happening because volatility can sometimes skew data, right? We're going to get incorrect data if we take into consideration these massive pushes. We want to get the overall average here, and this is what the quad witching lines are giving us here. So let's take away that, bring this back forth, and now let's take a look at what's going on in this little section and how it's relevant to the current cycle. So prior to the move in January, GameStop thing, we had 1 cycle, price went up from quad witching in March to June. Okay, so the price went up, then it remained stagnant, and then it came down. Okay, As soon as we came down on that third one, we had the January move. This is where the price just drastically went up. We traded sideways for a little bit again, and then June came, and we had the June experience, right, on AMC. So same thing is happening right now. This is just correlation. We're just looking at two different graphs here, and we're analyzing the correlation between the two. So what do we have here? We have goes up, comes down. It's pretty stagnant right here. And then what happens on that third one? That third one starts pushing up. Okay, now, this doesn't mean, again, with the cycle correlation, it's just like doing analysis with patterns in the market. There's not a right way to do things in the market, guys. You really have to find your strategy and what works for you. And this is something that has been working for us here in the cycle analysis group. So the correlation here is pretty high. We can see this not only using the quad witching structure here, but we use indicators. We use what is going on in the markets. You guys know that we're coming up to a very important POI in the markets here. And this also lines up with that, right? The point of interest right now in the cycle lines up with the quad witching section that we have here, which is 4 cycles. Also lines up with the run up that we have lined up down here. So this is just to consider, again, the possibility that this is a volatility zone where things can happen. Things can go up very quickly. That's it. And also, in the markets, when you want to see if a trend is changing, a lot of the times with these stocks that get manipulated using the option chain, you can clearly see that here. And just looking at the average, guys, look at how much downward pressure we have had. We have had downward pressure since June 2021 coming into what is now May of 2022. That is quite some time, guys. That's almost 3 years, or not 3 years. That's almost 2 years of just downward pressure in the market. So when things come down, they come back up. That's just how it works. Now, that's not always the case. If there is an underlying issue, or if the shorts actually happen to win in the end, which the market is the market, and the market works the way it wants to sometimes, there are certain stocks that do end up going down to very low levels. But this is why we're tracking this, because AMC is not there. Okay, AMC is at a comfortable range. They're having an extremely hard time shorting this stock below certain levels. Okay, right now, Bed Bath & Beyond is obviously trading at a very low range. And that's one of the stocks that I've told people it's possible it's going to go into the 10-cent range. Right now, we have a little dead cat setup happening. But AMC's not there, dude. AMC, they have not been successful in shorting it below that $4 range. So it just shows that this is a stock that's very hard to do that. Now, when you get to these levels, you do have to start thinking, okay, well, if the price crosses resistance, we start to see a trajectory change. Well, then it's possible that these shorts are going to start to struggle to keep it down. And then what happens after that? You have a ripple effect. So every time we enter a POI here, it just gives the opportunity for the price to rally, go up quickly, and potentially have a short squeeze in a stock like this. That's just the way these POIs have been working every single time. Now, if the price gets rejected, we cross below 350, well, then I would say AMC is in a dangerous spot, in a dangerous situation. The more it climbs down, the riskier the stock gets. And once you get into that dollar range, the stock becomes very risky. These guys can keep shorting it down till things get very, very cheap. And, a lot of things have to happen for that, guys. But AMC is holding very well. Right now, things are looking good. So, taking this into account is important, I think. Never financial advice at the end of the day. It's just my perspective. But I think it's a freaking good one. All right, so let me know if you guys have questions, man, or anything. Join the Discord, the free Discord below. It's awesome chat in there. And they're just exchanging ideas, perspectives on how we look at the cycle here. Also, for plays and stuff like that, the Discord, I have a bunch of other cycle analysis charts that I look at for plays, leverage trades, and stuff like that in the crypto game, and then options as well. So take a look at that, guys. Take care, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.